Hey everyone, it's the Manga Viewer, and today we'll be talking about My Hero Academia Chapter 340. The chapter came out yesterday, but because I have my finals, actually like my final exam, I couldn't break it down at time, so I just posted the summary on my Twitter after translating the chapter, so you can go there and like check it out or follow me there. But anyway, before I actually jump on to break down the chapter, I have a really special surprise for all of you guys. So since we are almost at 2K, I want to do a giveaway to thank you guys for all the support, especially this last month. I was able to pay half my rent, so thank you guys so much. So I'm planning on doing a figurine giveaway. It can be like a My Hero Academia giveaway or a Black Clover giveaway. I'm still not sure. So all you have to do is basically just like subscribe to the channel or join it if you want, of course. Add some likes, add some comments that will like show me which names or like should I choose. And after that, when we reach 2K, and you have to still be active on YouTube, so I can, so you can know if you win, or if you have won or not. And after that, when we reach 2K, I will announce the figure and I will ship it to you all for free. Like you don't have to pay any penny at all. This is just like me saying thank you to all of you because I'm really grateful for all of your support. I know we are still like really small community, but even that I'm still really happy to like be here and be around all of you guys. So thank you guys so much. And without further ado, let's get down to the chapter. If you haven't caught up with the manga, please proceed with your own cautions. You have been warned. Alright, let's kick off. So the chapter opens up where it actually ended off with All Might and Hawks entering the building and discussing the Aoyama reveal. And here's the tricky part. They were actually in front of the police, and they were saying that they reduced all the people that have been working on this case, so like not a lot of people are involved anymore, so that it can be actually secure and not like very, spoiled sort of thing. That's actually a pretty smart move of All Might and Hawks to not actually like show All for One and let them know what they are doing, because if you think about it, when a lot of people know about something, there's a higher chance of it getting spelled out and like letting it know to a lot of people that shouldn't be knowing. So that's a really great move, and I really like this small detail that they added to the chapter. Hiroko-sensei, props to you. Then Ragdoll basically enters and she's like, I'm kind of sad that the other pussycats aren't here, but I'm happy to be here. So she kind of like is talking about that I will try to reduce the search quirk as much as possible for the deeds of evil, because if you remember, this moment is actually pretty interesting and a really small nice Easter egg, because basically Hiroko-sensei is letting you know that Ragdoll knows that her quirk was used for the deeds of evil. Like it was used to find basically Deku and Bakugo, and it led to this huge catastrophic battle, and it also led to Star's death if you actually kind of think about it. So without that wouldn't have been possible. So she's kind of trying to atone for herself of letting this happen. So that's a really nice Easter egg. After that, basically, All Might interrupts Ragdoll, and he basically slaps down 2 pieces of magnet on the table, and he's like, this is All for One, this is Shigaraki. In order to, when we have to separate them, because if we don't separate them, we don't stand a chance. I really like this kind of showing magnet thing, because if you actually think about it, in the All for One world, Shigaraki and All for One were basically trying to get separated from each other, so that's a really nice Easter egg. I feel like this chapter, when Hirkoshi was writing it, and he took a break, that's actually him going back to the old chapters and kind of checking with the Easter eggs and implement them all together. So that's a really nice thing. Even though it's a really calm chapter, this chapter, it's still pretty damn good. So I really like that. So after that, basically the leader of the pilots asks, why didn't All for One come with Shigaraki when they fought against Star? And basically says that All for One is such a smart dude that he knows if he went with Shigaraki, he basically will get infected by the New Order, and then they will lose. So that's why he basically stayed there. And he basically, All Might specifies a sort of a really distance, a specific distance. He says they have to be at least 10 kilometers away from each other. Now that number is actually a reference to the My Hero Academia Vigilantes, because it separates the time between All Might and All for One fighting each other in that story, in that story period of time. So that's a really nice Easter egg that I like. I know I might be going way too deep into this, but still, I would like this number. After that, basically, Tsukauji, the policeman that helped All Might, interrupts All Might and says, even if we know what's going on and the plan to separate them, we don't have to forget that All for One has some really strong soldiers who we don't stand a chance against if we don't, plan this right. For example, in Dabi, in the wood camping arc, he basically burned out the whole wood, and they weren't able to kind of connect to each other, so they had to be separated. So that's a really interesting thing. Again, I feel like this chapter is just Hirkoshi planning out the final battle for this manga, since it says that it's ending in 1 year, and him just like adding those Easter eggs to kind of like implant what's going to happen and what are the important things that will be happening in this final arc. It's kind of like he's giving us a little teasers here and there. And even after that, Tsukaoji basically says that I know you guys trust this person called Aoyama, but it's really hard for me to trust him since he basically betrayed like the whole society as a whole. So he basically like interrupts and says that, but All Might and Aizawa basically says, no, my boy, we trust this guy, so you don't have to worry about it. That was like a really nice thing. It's just the teachers believing in their students and the policeman not believing or like being a bit skeptical about it. It's like really nice. I really like those like real life Easter eggs that Haruko Sensei likes to add here and there. It's kind of like how the school should already be. The teachers trusting in their students and the students trusting in their teachers. I kind of wish like if this happens in like kind of like every school where basically the teachers trust their students. But so after that, we cut to Aizawa Sensei in front of Aoyama, and I really like this panel. Like when I flipped the page and I saw it, it was like really great. Just basically kind of like this side frame of them being in front of each other. It kind of like represents All for One and All Might when they stood like against each other, or like they kind of like sat in front of each other, and basically All Might started talking. That's kind of like the vibe I got from that panel. So anyway, basically the doctor says that we haven't found anything irregular or a bit strange about Aoyama's body, like so there's nothing like implanted in it. So that's like really nice that Horikoshi keeps like reminding us, and the heroes actually not being able to fully trust that All for One didn't put anything. So they checked once, nothing is there. They checked twice, nothing is there. They checked third time in a hospital and, made all those tests, and there is still nothing. And now, like, Aizawa is a bit shocked and suspicious. Like, he confirms his suspiciousness where he says that All for One dominated the family and basically made them fear him based on just, like, fear alone. Like, he didn't have to add any device. Now, that's, like, a really nice thing. When he, like, took Nagant and he gave her the quirk, he gave her a bomb device that will basically explode her. So that's, like, really nice, because he knows that Nagant might not be able to do this mission. As for Aoyama, since he's a kid and he's afraid, since, he got the quirk from him, and he basically, like, feared him that if you don't obey what I do or what I say, your family is going to die anyway. So that's, like, really nice, and it really shows, like, the reality of, like, the situation. I really like this small detail. Still, we don't know, like, if he actually implanted or not, but I feel like he didn't implant anything. Then Aizawa Sensei asks Aoyama, like, what do you fear the most? And Aoyama basically says, after I betrayed my friends, I don't know, like, if I will be able to gain their trust again. Since if I, like, took their hands again, I'm afraid that I'll be able to, like, drown them or trigger them again. So that's, like, a really nice thing and a human way of showing Aoyama's feelings. Like, he still is sad about what he did. He still doesn't trust even himself. Like, he says, if I don't do that, my friends will, like, I will betray my friends, He's kind of like having this sort of fight between himself. So I really like that. Aizawa then tells Aoyama, like, hey man, I know what you did, and no matter what you do to forgive yourself, you won't be able to, like, be forgiven, So now the only chance or thing that you can do is to basically fight. That's the only thing you can do. Until, like, after this war is over, you probably will be expelled from the school. Like, he basically tells them, like, flat lines, reality checks. He doesn't give them, like, any strange, like, theories or something, like, hey, you're gonna stay, don't worry, everything's alright. I really like this moment, and it just showcases that Aizawa is probably, like, the best teacher in the UA school. Sorry All Might, sorry any other teacher, but I feel like Aizawa does care the most about his students, even though he doesn't show it, which I really like. I really like this moment, and I really like that he gives him reality checks for a moment, like, he puts him in the situation right there, like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, like, the only thing that you can do is to fight. I don't expect you, like, to be forgiven. You won't be, like, fully forgiven after that. That's the only thing that you can do right now. And basically, Aoyama tells Aizawa, like, can one person or one criminal do a change? And basically, Aizawa tells him, you are not alone. So he's kind of, like, giving him this reality checks and at the same time telling him, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. So I would like this sort of, like, two-sided lines that he gave him. And after that, we cut to Shinso, and his friends like coming in as like he's hanging from a tree like Spider-Man. I really like that. I feel like Horikoshi did this because he saw Spider-Man No Way Home, which, by the way, if you don't know, in Japan, like the Spider-Man movie No Way Home came out in 7th of January, and I got spoiled before I watched it because my friend wasn't able to hold his breath about, like, he was like, ne kidin. It was like really freaking hilarious. Like, he was like, Toby is in the movie, and was like, shut up, man, I'm trying to watch this movie without any spoilers. So anyway, I would like this Easter egg, and after that, basically their friends of Shinso tells him like, hey, get ready, the final battle is coming in. And I really like that. Now, this is actually really important because it will showcase how Shinso might be able to be one of the best keys, or like the best stops in this fight, in this final war arc, to defeat Shigaraki and All For One. I feel like he will be able to enter the All For One world where he can actually like brainwash or like talk with Shigaraki and All For One. I feel like if that happens, and basically like Deku and Shinso enter the All For One world, they'll probably like break the whole internet. Trust me, it's going to be so advanced. And like, just think about it. Shinso is not like fully mastering his quirk. By the time he masters his quirk, which will probably be now, or unlocking the full potential of his quirk, that will be actually like the best moment to do it. Imagine just like Deku and Shinso entering the All For One world, or just Shinso entering the All For One world, and basically like triggering the villains against each other, or like Shigaraki against All For One, and a battle happens where All For One fights against Shigaraki. That will just be top action. Like, I'm telling you, if this happens, like Horikoshi-sensei, if you're watching, which, by the way, I don't know if you do or not, but if you do, that will probably be like one of the best moments ever. So anyway, this is like the full chapter. I know it haven't been a lot. It's kind of like just Horikoshi-sensei preparing for the final chapters and like the final battle, but it's like really interesting. So that's the full chapter. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. Sorry it took me like one day later to break it down, but you know, as I said, I had my exams. And I promise you, like, this period will be a lot of fun because I have a lot of ideas that I'm kind of like currently doing. So I hope you guys will stick around. Also, Primal Might vs. Primal for One is almost done. I know I'm delaying it a lot, but because of the recent things that happening in the manga, you know, I had to delay the movie a bit because I was trying to kind of like make everything canon and everything. And also, like, we had some, you know, scheduling problems sort of thing, so we're trying to sort all that out. Anyway, I have been the Manga Viewer, and I will see you all next time. As I said, do join the channel if you want to win a chance to, you know, win a figurine. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Johnny.